What's up, everybody? You're back once again with Worlds Collide and YouTube's favorite couple, Ms Diva Talks, and me, JW here.
What's up, y'all?
And this is from our wonderful newfound friend, Company Man, doing a video on Hobby Lobby. We've all been there. It's like a crazy, like it's like Michael's on steroids, basically.
I've actually never been to Hobby Lobby.
Oh, okay.
I have been to Michael's, though.
Okay.
And I think Joanne Fabrics is one of their competitors as well, and I've been in there.
Oh, yeah.
Obviously, thanks shout out to Moms, because, you know, she's a seamstress, and one of her favorite places for fabric is Joanne Fabrics. Or Joanne. I think it's just Joanne now. But anyway.
Yeah, but Hobby Lobby got a lot of interesting facts, and they very wild. They make Chick-fil-A look good, so let's go ahead and check out what Company Man says.
Okay.
Hobby Lobby has been among the most polarizing companies out there. Some of it goes back pretty far, but especially over the past decade or so, it seems like not much time passes by before they're all over the news again and everyone's talking about their latest controversy. This is large-scale stuff, so for this video, I've selected 5 of them that I feel are either their biggest or most significant. But first, if you're not familiar with Hobby Lobby, they are a very successful chain of nearly 1,000 stores that specializes in selling materials used in various hobbies and crafts, much like the name implies. Their biggest, most direct competitors would be stores like Michael's and Joanne. They are somewhat comparable in size, but Hobby Lobby does stand out from them on the business end because unlike the other two, they have always been a private company owned by the same family who started it. Their close control of the company is actually what allows them to make some bold moves that lead to many of these controversies. David Green is their founder and longtime CEO, and however you feel about him or the decisions he's made, you have to admit that he knows about retail. His private ownership of a major retail chain has made him one of the richest people in the world with a net worth of over $8 billion, which I think is especially striking considering how modest everything was early on. His family was fairly poor growing up, so in high school in the 1950s, he started working full-time stocking shelves at a local 5 and dime store in Oklahoma, and I think that's where he found his passion for retail. After high school, he joined the Air Force Reserve for a little bit, but by age 21, he was right back into retail, soon helping to manage a discount store. That store would sell a lot of picture frames, and David Green took notice. He eventually got together with one of his co-workers named Larry Pico to start this tiny picture frame manufacturing business that they called Graco Products, which was a combination of their names, Green and Pico. They started with a $600 loan they worked out of their garage, and Green's wife and children would help out by assembling the frames at the kitchen table. But it grew, and after about 2 years, they opened their first store in Oklahoma City. It was only around 300 square feet and sold a limited number of craft supplies, so the following year, Larry Pico was willing to sell his part of the company to Green for $5,000. One of the biggest things helping the company at the time was a strong demand for beads, a big accessory in hippie fashion. 2 years...
You think my man's ever regret selling his half the company?
Shit, probably.
Cause if I'm watching, I'm like, I'm gonna be mad as hell. Like, damn.
He sold it for only $5,000.
And it's worth like a lot of money now. Man.
Later, in 1975, Green got enough money together to open a second, much larger location, and that's when things started taking off, averaging 1 new store each year well into the 1980s. By that time, one of the biggest factors behind their success was the strong local economy. The oil market was doing really well, which was good for the residents of Oklahoma, and it gave them money that they can spend at Hobby Lobby. David Green even tried to take advantage of this by selling some luxury items like high-end furniture and luggage, but that proved to be a terrible decision. Soon after, oil prices dropped, many people lost their job, and the local economy pretty much collapsed because it turns out they were far too reliant on a single product. People could no longer afford to buy his luxury items, or even his regular items in many cases, so Hobby Lobby started losing money. He was forced to refocus his products back on arts and crafts and refinance some of those loans, and luckily, in the end, was just barely able to avoid bankruptcy. That was a pivotal point in their history. industry. Today, their success comes from focusing on the customer and providing them with the best possible experience. The way they do that is by stocking a wide selection. They try to sell every piece you may need for a project so you don't have to go around to different stores. They also strive to have helpful employees. Part of that involves paying them more and providing better benefits than others in their industry so they stay longer and have an overall lower turnover rate. For example, in 2020, they implemented this company-wide $17 an hour minimum wage. Also, I think it's interesting that for a long time, they've avoided the computer barcode system, which according to David Green is because he thinks manually updating those price stickers makes the employees more knowledgeable and therefore more helpful to the customers. It has been argued that this leads to longer checkout times, which is bad for the customers, but it shows how they're doing their own thing, different from the standard.
Hey, right, because if they don't have barcodes, that means that when you go check out, they're manually putting in the price of the item listed on it.
Yeah.
That's old school.
And if it ain't got no sticker, you gotta walk yourself back down to the aisle, look for it, and come back with the right price. That's how mine used to be. Where like they had to call and it cost somebody like in like whatever department and say, hey, I got this item, it's corn, Del Monte corn, can you see what the price is? Yeah.
I mean, that still rings true to this day if like the barcode doesn't ring right.
Now they just be like, you good.
They also strive to have at least somewhat reasonable prices, and that can be attributed to keeping their costs down. They commonly establish their stores in empty or abandoned retail space rather than making their own building, and a lot of their inventory is obtained by cheaper vendors overseas. Alright, that helps explain their appeal to the customers and how Hobby Lobby became such a successful chain of stores despite the controversies. Now, at this point, I feel like I need to give a disclaimer. I'm going to be talking about some touchy issues, things that people rightfully feel passionate about. So I want to make it clear that my intention of this video is not to bash them or to praise them. I'm simply trying to present these controversies in the most objective way that I can. I'm going to try to give a fair representation of what's been happening, and then based on your own viewpoints or beliefs or whatever else, you can take what I say, combine it with stuff that you learned from other places, and use it to form your own opinions. That was a long disclaimer. I just want you to know that if I say something that you find offensive or insensitive, it was unintentional, and I'm doing my best. I can't believe that I have gone this far in a video about Hobby Lobby without even saying the word religion, because that's at the center of it. David Green and the rest of his family are some of the most religious people that you will ever see. His father was a preacher, as are many other members of the Green family. All of the stores are closed on Sundays due to religious reasons. They openly say that they are committed to honoring the Lord in all we do by operating the company in a manner consistent with biblical principle.
I can't stand religious people.
I mean,
and that's no tea, no shade. It's just when you're religious, when you're stuck in religion, you're stuck in tradition.
And traditions are made to be broken and recreated.
No, traditions are made to evolve.
True.
With times.
I say.
I mean,
to be broken.
I wouldn't say broken, just.
Because I don't
reevaluated and adapted and re-implemented. That's the way I see it.
I say that because all the traditions I had growing up, I don't have them no more. I got rid of them. And
like what?
I mean, a lot. Like just our family traditions was, wait until like marriage for, in obvious cases. Before you have sex, this, that, and third, or, oh, hey, family on Sundays, this, that, and third, stuff like that. But,
okay, I get that part. No sex before marriage, right?
Yeah.
But me and you have made like it may not be wait for sex till marriage, but we're waiting till marriage to have children.
I mean, yeah.
So you get what I'm saying?
And even then,
we may not do the whole sex part, but the children part, you get what I'm saying? So it evolved.
I mean, but even from my standpoint, like even once I got like older and got into older and got into college, I realized I didn't care if I was married to have kids. I didn't care for that. I can have kids and not be married. I can raise a family and not be married. Yeah.
All right, so I take that back. I'll put myself in that example.
Yeah. Put yourself in that example there, because I look at like that's tradition. I look like no one does it no more.
That's kind of the problem. But anyway.
So just keep all of that in mind because you will notice a reoccurring theme. The first controversy that I'm going to be talking about is their newspaper ads. During the Christmas season of 1995, David Green noticed a lack of testimony in newspapers talking about the true meaning of the holidays, and he says that he felt commissioned by God to do something about it. Essentially, I think he felt that God wanted him to tell people about the religious aspects of various holidays. So ever since, multiple times a year during the holidays, they've taken out these full-page newspaper ads with these very Christian messages. They don't even advertise the company, they're just talking about religion. The issue that many people take with this is that they don't want to be confronted with such strong messages that push someone else's beliefs upon them. They've been called politically incorrect, especially this one for the 4th of July in 2021. There was a big backlash against it, claiming that it quoted the Founding Fathers out of context and advocated for a combination of church and state. David Green claims that they've generally received minimal negative feedback within their stores, but at the very least, they do present some polarizing material that many people do find offensive. Next up on the list is potential discrimination. There's arguments that have been made for a few different groups of people, but the main one here seems to be focused on the Jewish community, mainly due to their lack of Hanukkah merchandise. Now, obviously, they don't have to sell Hanukkah merchandise, but many of their stores are located in areas with large Jewish populations. So then the question becomes, why aren't they selling it there if it seems like they're going to be profitable in doing so? Are they in fact discriminating against a religion different from theirs by not wanting them as customers? Those suspicions were happening for a while, and then it all escalated in 2013. It was reported that a customer asked an employee if they sold any bar mitzvah cards, and the employee's response was to say, "We don't cater to you people." Obviously an inappropriate response, but we have to remember that this was one employee that did not represent the entire company. Right away, Hobby Lobby apologized for the incident, and that apology was recognized and accepted by the Anti-Defamation League. Honestly, that's about the strongest evidence that I could find supporting any anti-Semitism, but it was enough to get the belief out there, so based on that, it has become a part of their public image. Okay, here we go. I wanted to put their biggest controversy right in the middle here. It has to do with contraceptives. The Affordable Care Act, or Obamacare, required that when a company offered a health insurance plan, that plan had to cover birth control without sharing the cost with the individual. Churches didn't have to follow it, and nonprofits had their own set of rules, but Hobby Lobby, being a US company that generated profits, was in fact forced to follow it. However, they took issue with it because it went against their beliefs. To be clear about it, it wasn't all of the birth control that they objected to. Their big issue was with the emergency contraception, the morning after pill and certain IUDs, because they felt that it was a form of abortion. We're not going to solve anything here because this involves some of the most debated issues of all time, but I think that we can see where Hobby Lobby was coming from. I mean, that family clearly believes in the principles of their faith, and if they thought that they were providing people with something that was so morally harmful and wrong, of course they're going to take issue with it. But then the other end had some pretty big arguments. It is such a personal thing. Why should your employer have any say in those matters? Just mind your own business. Let your employees make their own decisions based on their own.
Yo, shout out to her sign. You are not a doctor. You are not a church. You sell stencils.
Damn it.
Beliefs. Plus, there was an argument that contraception actually leads to fewer abortions, which is kind of hurting their own cause there. In the end, the case went to the Supreme Court, where it had a 5-4 ruling in favor of Hobby Lobby. It set a precedent that said closely held companies where 5 or fewer people own half of it no longer had to provide it. Very heavy stuff here. Even the Supreme Court was divided, so I am curious to hear what everyone thinks.
We were just talking about this the other day, right? So who do you think Hobby Lobby mostly employs? just think about that for a second. Who do you think who mostly works at a Hobby Lobby?
White Karens.
Exactly.
White Billies.
Exactly.
Christians.
And remember how we were talking about how, Congress is basically trying to turn back the clock on, Roe v. Wade.
Yeah.
With the whole abortion thing. And it's because, they aren't creating babies, especially, the blonde-haired, blue-eyed types of babies,
right,
to replace the population of people who are dying.
Right.
Yeah. So it just sounds like to me, when Hobby Lobby went to the Supreme Court, all that, you had people on, the judges deciding on it, who basically agreed to the same thing. So,
that's a whole nother topic.
Yeah, it's a whole nother topic for a whole nother day, but you see the parallels with it though.
Oh yeah.
About this, but please try to keep it calm. Moving on to their next source of controversy, which comes from the Museum of the Bible. See, the Green family spent hundreds of millions of dollars to open this museum in Washington, D.C. Years earlier, they had started collecting artifacts for it, and in 2017, it was open to the public. Already, you have to be skeptical here. Is it truly an educational museum? A simple way to educate people about matters involving the Bible like they say it is, or is it a big effort to secretly convert people to their religion? That's a big debate on its own, but the bigger controversy here stems from the artifacts themselves. In short, they haven't done the best job in confirming their authenticity or where they came from. They had bought this 3,500-year-old tablet called the Gilgamesh Dream Tablet, later found to be illegally imported into the United States. In 2017, they paid a $3 million fine for obtaining thousands of other artifacts illegally shipped out of the Middle East. They've also...
So it sounds to me they were like Christopher Columbus, just finding things and bringing them back. That's what it sounds like to me. Where have we heard that one?
Just to say that they have them.
Exactly.
Just to say that they have them.
Boy, heard that before.
Displayed a collection of Dead Sea Scrolls that were later found to be fake. Those are just a few examples. I don't want to go too far into this because it involves the family more so than Hobby Lobby itself, but it's all connected. The chairman of that museum is Steve Green, who is the son of David Green and the president of Hobby Lobby. His defense in the matter has pretty much been that he was ignorant in those situations. He didn't really know what he was doing when it came to running a museum, and he trusted the wrong people to advise him. I cannot believe that we are still going, but my final source of controversy is remaining open during the pandemic. In March of 2020, when all of the non-essential businesses were being shut down due to government mandates, Hobby Lobby was very much fighting against it. It depends on the area, but they were generally slow to shut down and then open back up very quickly. They claimed to be an essential business, and then that brought even more debate. An argument that I thought was funny was when people were claiming that the name Hobby Lobby implies that they are non-essential, but then they came back with all of these arguments saying that they sold materials for people to make their own masks, they sold educational materials for people that were forced to stay home for school, that they sold at-home small business materials. So again, it's all up to interpretation. Are they truly essential, or are they just looking for an excuse to irresponsibly stay open? And then a couple weeks later, they did this complete 180 where they abruptly closed all of their stores and told their employees that they wouldn't be getting paid. So definitely a lot of backlash from the public and their own employees regarding how they handled that whole situation. Let me know in the comments, where do you stand on all of these controversy?
I'm gonna say on the last one, like they said, hobbies. You sell thread and yarn and stuff. That's
it, right? It's in their name.
I mean,
Hobby
granted, yeah,
Lobby.
you make a mask, but that's what they got Amazon for. Two, yeah, that was main one. Like, how you gonna try to stay open during a pandemic? Like, I get a lot of other places for like Target and Walmart, but they actually sell groceries and stuff.
Right? They don't.
They just sell toys for people who stay at home.
No, they sell
hobby stuff.
Exactly, it's in their name. Hobby, like you sell, like the lady said in her.
Yeah.
Stencils.
That's the equivalent of like Toys R Us being open during a pandemic, saying we're essential.
Exactly, when all you sell is toys.
Exactly.
Your Hobby Lobby, you sell items for people in there.
Exactly. I imagine some people watching this are completely disgusted with their actions, while others, for the most part, are supportive. So any thoughts you have about Hobby Lobby, whether it be the controversies or the...
Oh, yeah.
Hold up. I just like to go back to one part in the video. Where didn't it show a picture of the whole family at one point?
Mm-hmm. You're all old white guys. Yeah, that was the only picture.
Major retail chain has made him one of the richest people in the world with a net worth of over $8 billion, which I think is especially striking considering how modest everything was early on. His family was fairly poor growing up, so in high school in the 1950s,
I'm not sure what you're trying to do here.
Well, the point I was trying to make is that, you know, the family strikes me, you know, they claim to be so, you know, religious, but they strike me as the type of family that probably still believes that Jesus is white. Exactly. That's the point I was trying to make. So while they sit up here, oh, we're going to stick to our beliefs. Oh, okay.
That's everyone.
I can't wait for you to find out just how much you've been lied to in your religion.
When you get to check in and whatnot, you're like, no. Nope. Sorry, Karen.
Anyway.
You go downstairs.
Yep. But anyway, if you enjoyed this reaction, go ahead and hit the like button. And of course, if you want to see more reactions like this one, go ahead and hit the subscribe button because we will be posting more of these fun reaction videos. Of course, if you want to go check out Company Man's YouTube channel, the description will be in the
description below, y'all. On that
the link will
it's
be
still
in the
description. On that note, we'll catch you guys next time. Well, you can find us. That's going to be in the description as well. We'll catch y'all next time. Later, y'all.
Bye, y'all.